like on the shore waving goodbye, and it was very hard for me to come back, and I was prepared to tell Julie that I didn't think I could come back in these guest star appearances anymore because it was just so hard for me emotionally. And she called me up one night, and I was prepared to say I don't think I can do it anymore. And before I could say anything, she's like, well, we're thinking about closing down this Limbo storyline, and we were thinking about bringing you back. How would you feel about it? And I was so excited. I had to keep my cool and not totally tip my hand, but I was grateful because Vampire Diaries is like my family. You know, it's more than just a job opportunity. It's more than just a character. It's been a whole life experience that I think is really unparalleled in many ways. So I felt great coming back. I felt a little uncomfortable, a little nervous at first, you know, saying like, hey, I'm back, I hope that's okay. I know everyone's kind of moved on, but, you know, is this all right? But I think coming back, we've really gotten back on the same page right away, and it feels good, it feels right, and I feel like we're all more mature, we're all more in alignment, and I think the writing's never been better, and I think the narrative is what is moving in the direction I had always kind of secretly hoped it would be. And so it's happening now, so it's great. Like I couldn't be happier, actually. It's like you always kind of look back on high school or college saying like, oh man, I wish I could go back and do it again knowing what I know now. And I feel like I have that opportunity coming back, having grown so much since I've been away, that I have a whole new appreciation for it. And I think we all do. So I think we're coming at season 6 knowing that, you know, the show's not going to be on forever, and that we're moving into probably the end game, you know. And I think we've come into a new state of grace and appreciation for what we're doing and for each other, that I think it's really going to be a great experience for us personally and creatively, you know.
Can you talk a little bit about how those other projects you worked on in between really helped you on Vampire Diaries and helped you with your character for Vampire Diaries and your appreciation for the show itself?
Well, you know, moving into cult was a very challenging and difficult experience. In many ways, and it was this sort of meta show, interestingly enough, and I felt like I was in this sort of meta experience with Alaric and Limbo, and so I had this interesting sort of parody happening for me, and it definitely launched a sort of deep soul searching for me over the last 2 years. It took me through a very turbulent time that felt very isolated, which is good. I mean, those times are always good for growth and whatnot, and so it was frustrating because I felt like I wasn't getting traction. Like I couldn't get traction in the cult experience. I couldn't get traction in these other things I was trying to do. I was auditioning for things that my heart wasn't in. I just wasn't getting any traction, and I felt very, very stuck. And I honestly felt like there's such a connection to the fans have such a deep connection to these characters and such a deep association to us with these characters, and with the show still going on, I think it'd be very hard for people to leave the show and do something else outside the show. And I kind of feel like until the show's actually over, you know, and we're released from the responsibility of these characters officially, it'll be very difficult for people to move forward energetically, because there's such a bond that we've created, such a gravitational, energetic pull. And our show has established such a unique connection with our fans, I think, with social media, unlike any other show, that has reinforced that energetic, gravitational connection. And so my feeling is that until the show is officially over, you're not going to really see people mature into the next phase of their creative choices. And so I'm grateful to be back. So I'm really, I was not, yeah, thank you.
The new season, Alaric, he's kind of buddy hunter, whatever. Damon is in another dimension.
Yeah, now he's in Limbo.
Right. So how
good luck, Ian.
And like trying to get this back, and we hear that there's also another teacher coming into the show, and so where's Alaric what direction he's gonna take now that he's back?
Well, I mean, Alaric I think will be very much a part of this emerging narrative that I think is going to be really exciting, and I think that you will see a development with a new teacher, and you'll definitely see Alaric doing what he can to correct the error of Bonnie and Damon being where they are. without giving away too much, the arc that's been sketched for me for the whole season is I think really exciting and phenomenal, and I think it's probably going to be the best season arc we've had in a while, at least from my perspective. So you'll see a lot of Alaric in terms of how that is developing. I know that's generalized, you know, actor speak, you know, because I can't
That's basically, I can't tell you.
I can't, yeah, so I'll try and artfully conjure something out of my ass. So I apologize for not being more specific.
Well, you're only at the second episode.
Yeah, truly.
Is it the most challenging thing that you've done as Alaric on the show? In all of the seasons?
Well,
The most challenging scene, the most challenging aspect of the character?
well, I think the season finale for season 3 was the hardest, you know, for me and for the character, because they had this parody of saying goodbye, so that was definitely the hardest, you know. And I think also coming back to these little guest star appearances after the fact was hard for me emotionally. But that said, it's such a great job anyway. The hardest thing is a relative, you know, it's a relative thing to answer when you love what you do so much. You know, it doesn't feel like it's hard. Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you. You too. Take care.